Hello, cozy friends. How are we doing? Y'all, I cannot believe that it is December already. I cannot believe that 2025 is almost at an end. 2026 is just around the corner, but here we are and everything's fine. Earlier this week, I was looking through my camera to work on this month's newsletter, which I send to all my little subbies in the Discord, and then I saw something that got me inspired to make today's video. Today, we're going to be going through my 2025 mood vision goal board, see what we did well, see what we maybe could have improved on, see where it's also fine if I didn't meet a goal because we had other things going on and not everything needs to be completed in the time frame that we might have set for ourselves way long ago when we didn't know what was in store for us. And then after we take a trip down memory lane, looking through what past Ryan had in store almost a year ago, we're going to look ahead to my new vision board for 2026, set good intentions going into the new year. So if y'all want to make your own vision board for 2026 alongside with me in today's vlog, if you want to reflect on your year and see where you've come from these past 12 months, if you just want to sit and get some good vibes, just feel those good intentions coming to you going into the next year, then absolutely stick around and let's get into things. Now, like I said last year, we made one of these videos almost identical, and it was such a nice little check-in point for me, not only to do one of these, because I really never do like vision or goal boards, but to also reframe it in the way that like I would want to be told if I were watching one of these videos. Not so much of like, I'm going to save $500 every week, or like I'm going to move 3 hours out of the week, and I'm going to do these like very numerical, very like I can track if I'm doing it or not, and rather set more like intentions and vibes and just like aesthetics of things that I want to do, and still track and say like, oh, I did this thing, just maybe not like, oh, I did this thing X number of times, or I didn't do this thing X number of times. It just allows for it to be more flexible and better for my own mental health. So if we pull up that 2025 vision goal board, you see a lot of it is really just pictures. Again, it's those vibes, it's those intentions I want to set, all sorted into like 4 different categories for like the pillars that I wanted to focus on this year. So starting in the top left with content, this was one of like my biggest pillars that I wanted to really focus on. Obviously, not only doing just more content and kind of keeping this going in like my streams and everything else, but really going past that, I guess, and seeing what new things I can do, what new forms of media I can make, what new sort of TikToks I can try to produce, what new sort of things I can put into my streams to make them more engaging. All of it was just kind of leveling up what I'm already doing really well and kind of pushing myself out of that normal comfort zone. And in looking at the pictures that I chose, I understand what past Ryan was thinking, but it's actually kind of funny looking at these because I think the intention for this was that I was gonna like take more aesthetic pictures. I was gonna do like more aesthetic sort of videos and things within the reason of like my lighting and my room and the decor that I have. But really, the pictures and everything was not where the algorithms were gonna go this year. It's not really where I wanted to focus. I wanted to focus more on like videos, YouTube, streams, all those sort of things, rather than just like the aesthetic of everything. So I guess kind of in a roundabout way, I accomplished that, kind of. Because especially with content and with a lot of these pictures, it was more for like short form social media. And I did kind of experiment a lot this year. Like if you look back at my TikTok or my Instagram, you can see I went through kind of a lot of different phases or a lot of different styles of videos. Some of them were more like vlog type, some of them were sitting down in front of a camera talking, some of them were like really short sort of trends, some of them were like really aesthetic sort of montagey things. It was all really nice to kind of experiment and just to see while I grow my platform, to see not only what kind of content do I like making, but then what kind of content do I like making that also resonates with my community and those who maybe aren't a part of my community that I can bring in. So past Ryan gets a good grade on the content section of his little vision board. Moving on over to the next one with social, this was more set to be like my social life. It was set to be like the things that I wanted to do to make sure that I'm still getting that outside friend time when we have so much going on with like work and working remotely where I might not leave my house for a day, with streaming and planning and doing content, everything else. I wanted to set some intentional time to go out with friends, to eat a little something with friends, to have a little game night or a movie night or something. And again, when I reflect on this 2025 vision board, I have to remind myself that these pictures were just vibes. These pictures were just intentions, not actual like set in stone things that I need to do. Because in looking at the pictures that I chose, I was like, okay, well, I went out to dinner a few times with friends, more often than I have in the past, so great. The little game nights, I didn't really host that many, really, if any at all, so like that one I kind of failed. The movie nights with friends, I watched a lot of movies myself this year, which we'll get to in a little bit, but I didn't watch any with like friends or anything, so in that respect, I'm like, oh shoot, Ryan didn't do a good job. Ryan failed this one. But it was really more just, hey, reach out to your friends more, see what they're doing, check in with them more, talk to them more, whether it's playing a game online, whether it is actually going out and having a meal with them, whether it's seeing them in person, and all that stuff I did do a lot more of. Like the amount of times that after work or after stream, I just called a friend just to like catch up, maybe who I haven't seen in a while, or something funny happened in the day that like I don't want to text them all this, because who wants to text an entire novel to their friends? But then we also just like had a 4-hour conversation just catching up about life, just talking, and it was so nice. I also got to see a lot of my friends more in person. Again, not necessarily for those things of like, oh, we planned a little movie night and we planned a little board game night or any of those like kind of bigger party-esque things. But I hung out with my friends and I went shopping with them more. I invited more friends over just to hang out and play video games. I feel like I just set myself up with this category just to kind of get more of that social aspect more integrated into my life, which I think I did very well. Now, if we move down to the health section, I honestly don't really want to talk about this one that much, not because of my own personal experiences, not because I did poorly on it or anything like that, but more because I want to talk about it within the realms of the new vision board. I feel like this intention was good, and I'm glad that I set my intentions the way that I did for this year, because it was more front of mind, but I really want to reframe it this year to make sure that I'm actually doing the things that I want to do that will give me joy and happiness out of that goal and that sort of pillar. So we'll come back to that one, but then the last one is self-growth. And this one I feel like I'm the most proud of. This one I feel like more than anyone on this little vision board, I focused on the most, and it was so nice to focus on it. Because the two right pictures were just supposed to be set more intentional time with yourself, check in with yourself more, and make sure that you're doing all right. And I think I did that really well this year, where in past years I maybe been more hesitant to like cancel streams or to not post a YouTube video, or feel like I always have to be productive if I have like a day off, or if it's the weekend, I should be doing something because I have that time to do something. Whereas this year I was really more intentional with just setting aside some time for myself to check in every day to say, okay, here's how I'm feeling, here's what we did for the day, here's what I have coming up, what do we need to get done versus what can I do later down the line that doesn't matter right now. Even if it would feel really good to do right now, even if Ryan is yelling at me inside my mind to do all these things, what can wait? And then also taking that too with like work and other aspects of my life, of not feeling bad if I need to take a mental health day, if I need to take a sick day, if I just want to take a day off just to catch up on all the things that I want to do. It was again more about that growth of making it more comfortable to do all these things for myself, because I absolutely deserve it, and it's still a lesson I still am learning to this day. And then the thing that I'm probably most excited about, and the thing that I really stuck to this year, was that last little picture of the candle on the little bed with the little Netflix on the computer. Because if you remember, that was supposed to be my intention to like watch more movies for myself. We obviously have the Discord movie nights, which I do with my Twitch community over on my Discord server, where we watch a movie night twice a month. So that was already going to happen. And the biggest and kind of most like structured goal out of everything on this list for me was to track my movies. Because in the video last year, I shared that one of the creators that I watch did something where they tracked every single movie that they watched for an entire year, and they made a little video on it, kind of recapping really quick what they thought of each film, like what they were doing that day, if they were sick that day, so they watched like 3 in a row. Like, it was such a nice video to watch just to kind of see what someone would watch in a given day, whether it was like going to the theater and watching something new and getting thoughts on that, versus like watching Pitch Perfect for the 18th time and hearing about that experience. I am so happy to say that that video will be coming out soon because your girl did that. Your girl absolutely, every single time that I watched a movie this year, I went in my little app, I gave it a little rating, I put what day I watched it, and now we get a look back at all of the year of all the movies that I watched. And it's just so cool to see, like, I've shown other friends, because now, of course, Letterboxd, the app that I use, is becoming more widely used, it's becoming more widely available to people. So it's been so cool to like friend my friends on that app and have them see like what I'm watching, see what they're watching, literally go through and be like, oh my gosh, yeah, like in January, I watched that random movie that I haven't watched in so long. And that last point of, oh my gosh, I forgot what I was watching was really the crux of why I wanted to do this. Because I won't get into too much of like the we live in a society sort of thing, because I feel like we consume media, especially me, at such a quick rate with like the TV shows and the movies that we watch and like just binging everything, that I often look back at like my list or what I am currently watching and I'm like, oh my gosh, I was watching that this year. Or like, I totally forgot that show even existed and I was obsessed with it at the time. So this was also really nice, even though I didn't really track my TV shows that I was watching, the movies that I go back and see like, oh my gosh, yeah, I absolutely love that movie. There was even some that I went back and I was like, oh, I should rewatch that again. Was really just like a cool thing to do. All right, oh my gosh, I was just supposed to give like a general overview of this, and I have now spent 25 minutes filming myself talking about this when we haven't even gotten to this year's board. So what if we just say Ryan gets an A on this, Ryan gets a passing grade, and let's move on to 2026 and talk about our goals and intentions with that one. All right, everybody, here is the new and improved 2026 vision board for Legolas. When looking at this, I was like, okay, I want to like redesign it. I want to redo everything. I just want to like have it look all fresh and neat. And then I was like, why fix what's not broken? This might help me kind of get those same intentions and those similar vibes while still continuing what we're doing. Since I typically don't do, like I said, goals or visions, having a similar format might actually help me in the long run. So we kept the similar format, we kept everything basically the same, we just changed things around. And before I go through each section one by one, I kind of want to talk about the sections that I did make and why I made them the way that they are. So the 4 pillars of this year moving forward are just intentions in general, community, movement, and mental health. So starting in the top left, the intentions category is probably the most vague out of the ones. I almost didn't name it intentions, but the reason that I did is because I was like, okay, I have community, I have movement, I have mental health. Like, what is my last one? Is it content again? Is it like food? Is it something with like my finances or my job or anything? But I was like, I think I really just want to focus on bringing more just intentionality with my mindset with everything moving forward. Which I know sounds even more vague and more just like, I don't have goals, I just have mindset sort of thing, and like, how will I track how I'm doing? But I think this is where I'm at in my life right now, of just like getting to that point where we're building on a lot of the things that we've been working on for so long over the course of the past like 2-3 years, that I really just want to set intentions to remind myself that it's okay not to be perfect. It's okay not to have those days where you're super productive. It's okay to try new things. Is that like first little quote on the top right, the trying over perfection, is something that I really want to set intentions for, especially around hobbies that I'm doing. I really, in the new year, want to limit my screen time. I scroll like nobody's business, which you can argue it's part of my job to scroll. to see what trends are, to doom scroll and see what's happening in the world, but I really just want to limit my screen time and do more hobbies. But I feel like in the past, I've always been sort of stopped from doing hobbies because I feel like it needs to be that Pinterest level perfection. Whether I'm coloring a book, I need to do, the amazing shading and the lighting and everything else that people are doing and put patterns and have the best markers. If it's, trying a new little craft of like making my own little garland for Christmas out of just paper, it needs to look immaculate. It needs to look like I would sell it at a little artist market. And so I don't really stick with things. You all know this from watching some of my streams. I feel like every time that I try a new hobby, it's a new one each time. And then I'm like, ooh, this is the one that I'm going to keep. And then I never do. So I just need to keep reminding myself that like trying things over perfection is fine. And I feel like we've already kind of started to do that, which I've absolutely loved. Because, like, actually just earlier this week, I think, over on my Twitch, we have the Bucket Club party, which is for my subbies, where I don't play a game. I do, like, a little hobby or craft, and we all just yap. We all just gab. It's such a fun time. But this time, I did one of my little coloring books. It was one of the Halloween ones because I haven't gotten a Christmas one yet. So it was just more like a cozy Halloween sort of vibe. And with it, I was like, okay, I don't want to go like obviously all out with this, but I want to try more coloring techniques. Even if they look like absolute poop, I want to try something new. And so it was really nice to have my chat with me there to be like, oh my gosh, you should color that like little mushroom that's on the fireplace yellow. And I was like, oh my gosh, what if we did like a yellow gradient? Or I was coloring like the fireplace and the fire itself, and someone was like, oh my gosh, what if you made the fire magical and it's green? And I was like, oh, that looks so good. I absolutely love it. Like not just coloring to color, I guess, and like use all the perfect colors and make it look as realistic as possible, but really just like trying things, having fun. And if it looks like poop, then it looks like poop, and we can learn for next time. That is more the intention of this whole pillar, is just to try things, to do things that push me just a little bit out of that comfort zone and just make myself better. Which actually is the perfect little transition. Oh my gosh, who is she? Into that last little quote, because this one I want to talk about especially, 1% better every day. This I absolutely loved. I know it's like not an aesthetic picture, it's just a brown box. But this one felt really good for myself to be reminded of, but also it was so nice because in my community over on my Twitch, we have what is called the Slay Meter. I won't go into the lore. That would be an hour-long video essay if I tried to do that. But with the Slay Meter, it gives you a percent of how slay you're feeling in a day. And usually, when it's bad, we usually yell at the Slay Meter, we riot on the streets, we're doing all the things to make sure that percent goes up. But I also sometimes say to people, like, if that's where you're feeling, if that's where your mindset is at today, that you are feeling just 4% slay, then that is okay. Because we always have those days, and as long as it's going up, at least by 1%, in the next week or in the next month, then that is progress. That means that it's improving. It's not that toxic positivity of like, ew, no, not 4%, 100%. Let's go all the way to 0, literally to 100. No, let's just get 1% better as quick as we need to, as quick as we can, to make sure that we're feeling better moving forward. So that one I definitely need to be reminded of a lot more, that it's just that 1%. If I'm doing one thing that makes me 1% better, whether it's my mental health, whether it's coloring techniques, whether it's a hobby, whether it's a video game, I'm getting better at it because I'm doing something to get better at it. So again, that category is just more intentions for everything. If we move on over to the right, the community one is similar to the social one, but this time in this vision board for 2026, I feel like I'm on a really good trajectory for my content and for my streaming, that I didn't really want it to be its own category. Like, I'm feeling really good where we're at. I'm obviously wanting to go into 2026, still improving, still trying new things, still learning and growing this community as best as I can. But really, the community tab is still more about that social aspect. So the bottom picture, again, is for you all. It's to do more things. It's to interact with you all in different ways. It's to try those new sort of streams, those new games, those new video types, to getting that sense of wanting to do more and improving ourselves. But then the other two pictures are very similar to what we had last year, of still doing more movie nights, still doing like maybe more intentional movie nights, like we talked about in our last one, of like maybe I invite 3 or 4 friends over and we all bring a little appetizer. We all bring a little theme that goes with the movie. Like more than just, hey, come over, watch a movie, get cozy, get a blankie. It's going to be like, hey, come over for this like themed movie night that I'm so excited to host. Let's do this. And for the last picture, look, I was looking at our vision board last year and I saw the one that I just laughed at when I first found it, that I even pointed out in the first video, of just girls sitting around a table gabbing. That was the intention, that was the vibe. I absolutely loved it. So I had to create another girls gabbing little picture, and I found this one and I absolutely love it. It really, again, is just cementing that, like, check in with your friends more often, go out to dinner and gab with them if you must, do whatever you need to do just to see those friends more and gab with the girls. So that's what we're doing. Don't worry, we're gonna include this every year that I do this now. Moving down into the left, this is the one that I was not gonna talk about for 2025, but I wanted to talk about for 2026. Because looking at the one for 2025, again, the intentions were very good. The intentions were things that I really wanted to do. It was more about just, hey, if I can just get in a little bit more movement, if I can just stand up and go for a walk every once in a while, and hey, also while I'm at it, I might as well eat a little healthier. I really just wanted it to more focus on movement this year and more just like getting myself to feel better with it. Not with the intention of like, ooh, I'm gonna eat healthier and I'm gonna get skinny and we're gonna be like fitness little queens. It's more just like, what can I do during the day to make myself feel better? So that's why a lot of these, like even the top right picture, it's a girl sitting playing video games. Like, I'm not wanting to go to the gym 8 times a week and deadlift 140 pounds to do all that to get swole for the summer. Like, have you met me? But I really try to find a picture, and this is really like the closest I could get, of someone who is like maybe standing up and playing a video game, or like she's kind of sitting cross-legged playing a video game. Like, what does it look like to maybe go out, have my Switch docked on the TV, and like stand up and like walk in place while I play Stardew? Or maybe like do a little yoga pose while I play Animal Crossing. Like something so simple that I don't even know I'm doing it until I'm doing it. That's the intention with that picture. The two kind of catty corner from that one, the one of the girl stretching and the one of the person walking with their like little shadow, was again more that same vibe of like, I just want to stand up. I want to move more throughout the day. I want to get outside a little bit more. So a lot of those same vibes that I had last year, let's just move. Let's just get up. Let's just get out. Let's do what I need to do to feel a little bit better and get my body moving a little bit more. And then the bottom left picture, I really wanted to throw in there just to say, like, okay, I'm working remotely more now in my job. That's like a new development within the last 2 months. And really, even if I'm in the office, there's not a whole lot stopping me. If I wanted to just go work outside on a nice day, like sitting right next to the building where I still have Wi-Fi, getting a little coffee and going and sitting outside, there's nothing stopping me from doing that. So why don't I do that a little bit more? Again, getting some of that sun on my face. Again, getting more out of that like 4 walls that I'm in either currently or at my job. Just how can I involve movement in getting outside and sunlight more into my day to day? So that's why I didn't want to talk about kind of recapping 2025, though I still did do more of that. It's more moving into next year, just starting the bare minimum to more make me feel better with my movement rather than going from 0 to 100 with it. And finally, on the bottom right, we have the mental health pillar, which obviously is going to be a little bit more personal to me and everything that's going on. Similar to the self-growth section last year, I really just want to set some time to check in with myself, to do something for myself without it feeling like this big, huge thing. You know, they have to like solve all my problems. Like, we're not doing that. It's more setting those intentions, like with the top picture of, can I color more? Can I do more of those brain off activities? Just not like doom scrolling as much and just setting more time for myself aside during the day, during the week, during the month, whatever it may be. And the one below that, last year I had like a journal sort of thing because I wanted to check in with myself more, whether it be just me talking it through. Because I think I mentioned this last year that like I'm not really a journaling person. I feel like it's also permanent. I feel like I just write what I think I should write with those. So this year I changed it to more of a planner. But even with the planner, because you all know me, I love a planner. I love using a planner. I get a planner every year. I ask it every year for Christmas. So I did ask for one this year, but I really went back and forth if I did want one this year. Because as much as I use them, I do fall into that pattern of using it for like 2 months and then not using it for like a month and a half. And then using it for like a month and then not using it for like 3 months. You know, like that never ending cycle that I feel like a lot of us do, where like it has to look really nice. It has to be like what's set in stone. And then if I don't do that, well, then I'm behind. And then I might as well just get so behind that I feel an overwhelming pressure to kind of restart using my planner again. So this year, I really just want to get out of that sort of mindset because whenever I use my planner, I set aside some time to like really fill it out in a really nice way, use my best handwriting, use some really nice markers, and just use it for like things outside of work. So I'm also not thinking about work all the time. But where that's gotten me this year is I use it once at the beginning of the week to basically write down the things that I already know are happening because I'm already writing it down for the week ahead. And then I don't use it for literally anything else. So it's basically just like a nicer looking version of a calendar that I can get on my phone, that I can get literally anywhere else. So this year, I want to carry it around with me like almost every day. I want to have it very prominently set, open to the day that I need it, and just write down, not even worrying about if it looks pretty, if it looks legible, like anything like that. Getting outside of that, like it has to look aesthetic and it has to look really good. No, babe, write down the shit that you gotta do and do it. And then cross it off and feel better about yourself. So that's what I want to do because a lot of it is currently just up here when I don't use my planner. So in just using my planner more, having it more available and not worrying about how it looks, I think will really help. And then this last little picture that I'll touch on is more just around my life outside of work and streaming and content. I was thinking about it when I was putting together this board, and the last trip that I took that wasn't like a family trip, that wasn't just like a little day trip up into the mountains, was I think back in 2022 for myself. So we need to change that. So at some point this year, I think my family has a vacation planned at some point. I think I might go somewhere with a friend at some point. I want to take a vacation either with a friend or myself, going somewhere that we either haven't been or haven't been to in a while, and just taking an actual vacation. Like, I'm not even talking about within the state of Colorado, because that's where I live. I've done a few, like, staycations. Again, I've gone up to the mountains a few times. Like, I want to get on a plane and go somewhere different and have that intention to go somewhere different than where I'm currently at. That is what I want to do this year. I want to plan, like, whether it's a big vacation, I'm doing it like all out, or if it's a little bit of a smaller one, I want to do that at least once, if not more, this year. Whew, y'all, we made it through. I feel like I just talked for so long, but I just wanted to talk with you all about the intentions that I'm making for this year, the kind of goals that I have for myself this year, while we are still in December, while we're still in 2025, to really set ourselves up and hit the ground running when January 1st comes. So if you all want to make your own little vision board, please use mine as inspiration. Go find another one online. If you want to write a full paragraph for each of these goals that you want, like, please do whatever you need in order to set up good intentions for yourselves and others going into the new year. And of course, I will keep you updated in any way, shape, or form of how these goals are going. If I'm going on a vacation, you better believe I'm going to be posting about it here on my socials. And until we see each other next, whether it's the next video or in the new year of 2026, I hope that you have such a good rest of your day, and I will talk to you so soon.